checking out the S&P futures here on the hourly chart. Video last night I had made a reference here around this candle at 1700 hours that if price did break back up over 29.85, it would be a long for the targets above at 30.28.5, 30.61, and 31.25 to 31.42. And if we manage to break over this area of resistance, our next target's up here at the tertiary 61.8 at 31.89.5. We got most of those targets today. Acting resistance here still overhead. Price did test up here into 31.29.50. And then we see a sharp rejection back lower, as I kind of assumed we would. In this type of market, they don't generally like to leave some of these extension candles open. We see a lot of backtesting to fill these types of candles that during the day they break up and out, but really they're poor structure in the shorter term and price comes back to fill them, which is actually really great in the longer term aspect of things. It leaves everything secured below price, but in the short term it does cause a lot of whipsaws such as this one. So I'm looking for this to still be a long. We see the cup and handle formation here on the hourly chart with the 31.25.5 area being resistance. And if we want real quick, let's go ahead and put one more retracement on, and we'll just do it from this high down here into the low. I just really want the 61.8 of that. There we go. So this gives us a shorter term support point here at 30.74.25. So now we could say that our untested support is 30.61.25 to 30.74.25 in this area. I'm gonna go ahead and just make it a different color because it's not support and it's not resistance. So let's just go ahead and make her yellow, kind of as a cautionary tale. Alright, so now we have that. So if price does come down and tests into the 61 to 74 area and it acts as support and it bounces, then we would expect another test up here into 31.25.5 to 31.42.5, and then that target up at 31.89.25, followed by the 161.8 up here at 32.38. Also on a longer term time frame, quite a bit of volume starts to build up there. But so far, this is an untested support, so we will need to see that hold. If that doesn't hold, then we can roll back down here into 30.28, and it also opens up this 29.85 area again. But for now, there's a lot of stock setting up really well, a lot of top holdings. I can go through a couple of them real quick. Let's just go to an hourly chart or a daily chart here and reset. And so here's one, Apple. You have this is Apple. You have price breaking over the 61.8 here at 30.54. There's a large volume node down here at 299 acting as support now. Right now you have resistance at the gap open, which is 304.18, and then you clear 304.18, and there's a gap to fill all the way up into 310.50. Above 310.50, volume really builds out up here. I don't know if I'm trying to shoot through that, but I'll certainly try to play through this gap. In a market like today's, it can gap to 310 to close it, or if it moves over it, that's only 6 points in Apple, and in this market, that's just part of a day. So certainly a trade to watch out there for Apple, one of the top holdings in the market. My Microsoft chart is just a little bit messier than my Apple chart, clearly. Hold on a second. Here we go. Microsoft kind of the same way, not really set up as well as Apple. Clears 171, it can test up here into 175. You have Google, who, I don't know why all my charts from work aren't on here, but you have Google here, who cleared the 38.2 today and is holding above 1368. Next target is at 1400, followed by 1430. Above 1430 is a gap fill all the way up here into 1468 to 1480. Major node of volume on this daily chart below on Google at 1353. So certainly a lot of support below price on this chart. If we go into Amazon, we see that push over the 38.2 today at 1954. Resistance right now at the 50 at 1998.54. Above that, the 61.8 at 2024. Volume build out on Amazon is just a little bit lower than the rest of the stocks that I've been going over here, with the point of control at the 1785 area. But still, volume below price significantly larger than volume above price. JPM was, the banks are starting to set up, it would appear, as well. If we put JPM out here on a weekly, here we go. Sorry, it's old chart. Anyway, so we put JPM out here on the daily chart. We see price came down into this large node of volume, and has since, and as well as the subtrend, and since then we see these bottoming tail hammers on the chart, showing plenty of demand below price. Today price tested all the way down here into 114.73, and by close was over almost 6 points higher. So really think the banks are starting to set up. We can see this poor structure here above price on JPM. Purple line is the previous all-time high. So hold 119 to test 122, 123.5, and then it really opens up here through this area into 129 to 130, which would probably be overall target here if this is the start to a breakout. But certainly yet another stock that's a top holding that is set up really well. So so far it looks like we're going to move higher. Obviously any news flow that is contrary to that point will obviously affect this market harder right now, with the VIX still elevated. So we'll be watching the 61.74 in the overnight on ES to test bounce into today's high and weekly highs, and possibly break up and out of that in the coming parts of the week. And then below 61, test into 28, then 29.84 again. So hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you